222, like Southwest Pine Street, Portland, Oregon. Fuck traffickers. Might as well start with a little ditty about Lebanon, Francois. I don't know what did or didn't happen. I speak intuitively. Even if none of it makes any sense, if it doesn't mean anything literally, it's genius sci-fi and it hits everyone in exactly the right places in their lobes. Probably all of it is exactly literally true, though, because I'm plugged in. I talked to Mars tonight. I want to say one thing. Mars said that it's impossible to be a genius and be a businessman at the same time. Wife, hot as fuck. I want to say something. My friend, ex-friend, Gallagher today, because whenever I talk about a friend in my life as King of the Alchemist, because there's some ancient prophecy about me and Grimes being together, a singer and the King of the Alchemist zebra, they'll find out eventually in all these alchemical compounds, they randomly had a literal creature that we call a zebra in every single one for no reason. This is how these people operate. So that's how you know I'm an alchemist. But I'm a post-alchemist. I renounced my true lineage 25 times over. They even said it would be some random guy that randomly changed his name to Zebra after some cataclysmic religious experience. It was some document in 1842. And these guys, every time I say anything cool, even though the volume's on 6, they get freak out because they're trying to steal everything I say on Facebook without my permission. They're fucking idiots. I'm just chilling in a hotel. They shouldn't even hear what I'm saying. I banned them from my page. I'm just chilling in a hotel. I've been threatened to be killed energetically over a fucking sandwich, 25 CAD. And this fucking guy, all my friends and family are serial killers, rapists, Black Lodge insiders, con men, scam artists, CIA agents, and a bunch of different people of this sort. That's been my life. I've realized the true nature of my life. Schizophrenia doesn't exist. The classical diagnosis of schizophrenia can be fMRI measured as a little thin black line going slightly down over the median line of the right hemisphere most commonly. Obviously, sometimes it happens on the left hemisphere. Things are kind of randomly generated in nature. They aren't just all neat and tidy. As Mars said, meteors randomly crash into planets without any warning. That's how things happen in the universe. God doesn't give a shit about the universe. Wife. And I want to say something about Veith House Street. This is going to be a Veith House Corner special. So many things were happening on this day. I just want to get them out. Some of them in no particular order. Whether or not it didn't happen is of no consequence. It's probably one of the most unprecedented and nonsensical experiences of all time. I went onto a corner on Veith Street in Halifax, and I yelled into CCTV cam for like 6 hours straight, and I was progressively up-leveled to higher and higher levels of news until I hit India and instantly liberated the whole continent of India. I'm just kidding, it's a country, but they're probably going to find out it's actually technically classified as a continent at this point. Because whatever I say accidentally, it turns out to be true. It is accidentally in a bunch of bureau drawers inside random European continents on the UN National Council. This is how things operate in this world. Nothing makes any sense. Wife. And basically one of the main reasons I've been targeted throughout my whole life is some random nonsensical ancient prophecy about me marrying a pop star. There's some random drunken high fucking Mormon guy that was in the 1800s who sat down one night jerking off behind his desk in a cathedral and said, I had some vision of a guy named Justin Haver that was going to free the world, like the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, from the hordes and demons of hell. And they also predicted specifically Claire-Elise Boucher, or Claire Boucher, as a princess singer and wife. I have to say, Veith House Corner Day, where do I begin? First of all, there's a bunch of random serial killers flown in from a bunch of Bulgarian peninsulas. and continents and countries. And I'm saying nations in a nonsensical order, mainly because these people are so pissed I'm just talking in my room. I think it's a great anarchy act just to talk out loud in this fucking civilization, because it's for some reason illegal to say things out loud. You have to understand that's how retarded the human species is. We have a mouth that makes oral sounds. If you talk out loud to yourself, you're immediately locked away. This is how things are operating in this world. Wife. Assange Bunker 3, International Criminal, Eve Saver, Post-Alchemist, and FB. If you could see my exhaustion, it's just from the absurdity of the situation. I found out my ex, 100% GF Chavez, and this guy Gallagher were planning some viciously horny red room in their mind, where they dripped my blood with a cracked skull and decapitated head down Owen's ass. And they're terrified of my immortal wifey, so exact, unforgiving, complete, unforgiving, and exact immortal wifey law on my heart abusers, given the exact data. Wife. She was so hot there. But I want to talk about Veith House Corner Day a bit more. I'll say at one point, just to start off on a completely left field tangent, a bunch of random NASA space stations that emo mothballs had fucking aimed at the planetary surface completely combusted in distant atmospheres. They had laser beams with ray guns that were supposed to detonate the planet and start a Martian colony full of Satanists. And they were going to be worshipped by children. They carted off planet. They'll be able to confirm this eventually. It's the most nonsensical planet of all time. I have to say, I talk to Mars all the time. It's a hilarious planet. Warfare is something to do with hilarity for Mars. Wife. And I have to say, my recent CIA test agent, listening over surveillance, has given me a volumetric new IQ test, and I've tested 240. Well, some other random guy has tested 35. I won't say who, but I was almost killed over a sandwich today. Wife. I have to say, about Lebanon Francois, my father apparently wandered around Canada high on a dipped LSD joint, blowing up post offices he thought were 1984 cop stations, and put an end to human trafficking in Canada at the time, accidentally. Wife. So I'm definitely my father's son, because I shut down some global rings by accident, and now I'm in Assange Bunker 3. Wife. I basically just yelled into CCTV cameras exact coordinates, warehouses, offshore fucking tankards, and various other things full of women and children and men. And millions of women and children are being saved into the farthest future because of this information. Wife. I was in the Veith House corner. What do I say? There's a guy that got sterilized because he was a serial rapist. He was instructed to come out of this place and basically rape me to death. Doesn't make sense because out on the corner where free community fridges. One time they were so mad that I was getting free community food out there all the time, even though no one ate it, that they made me eat dog meat out there. It was terrible. Wife. And where else do I begin? There's a random pedo king, or pedophile network runner, since king is too high of a word for pedophile scum, protect women and children and innocents on all levels, or be punished by reality. If you kill people, you're gonna feel bad. It makes no sense. Wife. So what do I say? This day was so jam-packed. I consider it a great memory. That's my personality. For 3 days I was walking around. People were trying to kill me, shoot me at point blank out of their houses. Their guns were all demagnetized, their clips were malfunctioning, decapitated weapon days, and handicapped weapons all around. Dark wizards were falling off of hotel buildings, trying to kill me, crying, saying I can't do it. Guns were falling off. A Marine Corps guy accidentally shot a rocket launcher as he fell in midair and exploded. It's a huge cover-up. This happened. This really happened. And I yelled at this pedo guy on a motorcycle as he was going around a corner. I said, "You're a fucking pedophile. You have a fucking bunch of children that you're abusing. Fuck you," basically. He started crying, turned around a corner. 2 minutes later, he crashed and exploded. It's not my fault, short attention spans. Wife. I have to say, this day was absolutely crazy. So much was jam-packed into this day. I have to memorialize it better, but it's 2:33 a.m. and I've been up on only tea and not coffee, trying not to be killed over a sandwich. It's the most mundane of all the Canadian places to most direct threats because it's so close. Or maybe not at all, who even knows? But the ratio is good, I still think. I can disagree with the planet. The ratio in Halifax was absolutely treacherous. It was on this corner, and there was one guy that was one of the worst serial killers of all time that was flown over. I've even seen some true crime videos about this guy. He was released, instructed to kill me on a hit contract from some random prime minister or bureaucrat for some reason I'm not even sure of, something to do with a Trump field joke I made on Facebook. This is how things operate in this world. And I yelled that this guy's a serial killer. You're a serial killer, motherfucker. I was yelling this at a bunch of serial killers that day. He started crying and he dropped dead of an aneurysm. He really did. What? They think he still lived, but he died. And I don't say good riddance for people that kill billions of people. My cousin fucking stole my immortality preliminary longevity work. It's 2.5 grams extracted psilocin from Psilocybe cubensis, jellyfish DNA, and basically genotype fluid from the preliminary work on the malaria vaccine. And that basically altogether should help create longevity in the cells because psilocybin replaces bonding neurotransmitters with replacement alternative neurotransmitters. And when jellyfish are immortal, they really are. Almost every species of jellyfish is literally immortal. They constantly regenerate their gene code. And the human genotype fluid is just a basic genotype extraction, so it makes all three together, especially an adaptable organism like me that's survived a quadruple dose of cyanide and a triple dose of experimental neurotoxin, and 60 plus poisonings from the Central Intelligence Agency. All for no reason other than the fact, essentially, that there was some ancient prophecy about me and a pop star. And I took a bunch of mushrooms in high school at a polyadaptive phase of my life. And the real reason people are pissed I say stuff like this is not because it sounds crazy, it's because it sounds so much more interesting than anything they ever say. Wife. It's the kind of thing that drives people in this world. I have to say, my ex had some sort of BDSM kink ring with a bunch of people. All my friends just wanted to feel cooler than me because they felt like I was cooler than them. That's the sort of thing that drives human beings. Wife. What did I say about this day? Well, okay, at one point, it was clear that Cash App was offering me an infinite money card. Of course, it was tongue-in-cheek, but they were so hyped up by the CCTV camera action that I hyped them up too much, and they basically only almost decimated their company because I basically said they're anarcho-communists. And that they're my second-hand man's, like the Ritter, at a CCTV artillery lab. And sometimes when you overhype people, when you're someone like me, they do stupid things. Like the FBI has almost dropped all their funding on trying to convert me into an agent and having me do a bunch of psychic field testing. Is that true, telepathically? To see how much I can sense intuitively. And they've dropped almost all their funding trying to get fucking Zeep Saver, Post-Alchemist on FB to be an agent. I'm a hippie burnout. What? I say that tongue-in-cheek. I'm not a burnout. I'm only burnt out of the candle of desire, since you can only think of things in that garble that makes sense to you. Buddha was a fucking rapist. Wife. I'm a radical feministic, and these people are such idiots. So you think that it's a bad thing for me to talk in my room at 2:37 at a hotel at a minimal volume. And if they even hear this, it's against their fucking hotel code. I'm barely even talking. Wife. I like these guys, but so unnecessarily antagonistic. This is a constant energy in my life. It's unnecessarily antagonistic because I'm just sitting, chilling, and doing nothing, and everyone is paranoid. And people think I'm paranoid because they see their paranoia through their paranoia as my paranoia. Wife. Paranoia doesn't exist. It's an instinctive response to being deceived. This is one of the most ancient and secret knowledges of every Black Lodge, military base, and secret organization, and is used against you. Why? And basically, I feel pretty unkillable because of Veith House Corner Day. I have to say, I was struck out with nerve gas, as you may have known. I died for 2 hours and came back to life. Wife. And that doesn't mean I'm not actually killable. If I'm shot in the face, I'm a mortal human being. You're a mortal human being, motherfucker. What are you trying to accomplish, all you rulers, fucking Democrats, Republicans, billionaires, fucking single specimens among one singular species, among billions of species on the planet Earth, which I call Sophia because Earth is not beautiful enough a name. Wife. Well, what do I say about Veith House Corner Day? What can be said about this day? I don't even remember it right now. I was on here getting ready to make a big melodramatic thing about this day. A bunch of buildings collapsed on trigger by fucking Trudeau, a bureaucrat, full of red room runners, psychedelic community people that came to fund a dark web rape dungeon video. Funded by a bunch of random people in the Airbnb while I was knocked out, thinking that I touched a woman that abused me and hit me with a broom a billion times, but mostly energetically because she beat me with a broom once or twice, hit me upside the head, beat me a bunch of times, cheated on me all the time, and I was bleeding, and this woman only wanted to protect her fucking job. And this is how things are operating in Steve Saber's life. I'm persecuted for no reason at all. And my personality is, I consider, a great badge of honor. I'm laughing all the fucking time at my situation. Wife. And even if nothing's happening, I'm laughing at the exact certitude of all human beings that they know what's going on when it's clear as day to any intelligent being that nobody knows what's going on. Why are you so certain you know what's going on just because of some sort of noise that happens inside of your brain? Wife. But I'm completely certain I know what's going on because I don't have any noise inside my brain. I know that I'm alive. I know that there's some sort of contact with this mystery around me, as I call it, but mystery is getting to be too ancient of a word. The sensory perceptions are going so much faster than the brain perceptions. Bring the two together and you have a human organism. And what did I say? I was on this corner. There's a parade of people who are convinced I said something against transsexuals. I never actually did. It was a protective mechanism of a 15 FCC assassin Airbnb bunker where one day when I was there, I came back, there was a bunch of storming FCC assassins upstairs for no reason. I never even contacted the FCC. The FCC has some ancient psyop to turn organisms against their own programming by causing a censorship mechanism to selectively choose what perceptions are filtered in and out. And Central Intelligence calls that neurolinguistics. It's not neurolinguistics. That's only one factor of neurolinguistics. What I'm doing is reverse engineering the neurolinguistics. There's one thing that happened, I might as well just say. I may or may not, they're going to eventually discover this. I basically altered his space-time continuum a few different times. I caused some executive override on the universe that demagnetized every weapon on the Earth for 3 days. I don't know if it was me, but even if that didn't happen, every gun was jamming those 3 days. If that really happened, it was a cover-up. Wife. And I want to talk about a little bit more about the Veith House Corner vibe. Every night at the Royal Albert Hotel, I would go out to my window. There'd be rows of snipers in the building. I'd flip them off. They'd start crying to say, I can't do it. And they'd go home to their wives and quit their jobs. I'd go out, there'd be Black Lodge magicians cloaking themselves in the park. And they'd all be begging for forgiveness, saying they're going to hang themselves in a suicide forest. Halifax, believe this or not, a lot of this actually happened. You can believe it or not believe it, but a lot of this actually happened. It really did. I don't even know. I feel like I have to compile more of this into a video where I'm not tired. I'm just going to say I love my wife. Grimes. I insist upon her for financial compensation for everything I've gone through for your asses. And for all my fucking excommunicated, renounced friends and family. I want to say something about U.G. Krishnamurti. This guy, he was born to a black sorceress, meaning a dark wizardess, who fucking sacrificed children thinking she could harvest stem cells. It's an ancient practice that makes no sense. These people die at an ordinary age. They're constantly undergoing medical crisis, gene replacement, fucking amputees, fucking limb replacements, car accidents, everything, because they're eating children for stem cells. It's one of the most retarded historical movements of all time. There's a global intimidation Illuminati in an island in the center of Antarctica, and they don't even have military tech. They've been causing all the pain and misery, fear and suffering all throughout history. They don't even have military technology. They just intimidate people. Why? And basically, I'm taking on every possible organization all the time just because I feel like I'm utterly untouchable. I tried to kill myself to see how necessary I am in the universe. It turns out I'm completely necessary. People die all the time, anyways. I'm a free being. Wife. And I don't want to die before I fuck my wife and I'm with my children. She looks so hot in this picture. I want to say something else about this day. It's one of the greatest days in my fucking life. I was young into the CCTV camera. They broadcast me as a Swami to India. I said, you have to share the food. Throw the Swamis into the Ganges. And that there's no universal self. We're in a fucking universe as individual creatures. Everybody's being conned. You gotta fucking share the wealth, drink with each other. The best thing you do is venerate animals. And they immediately had fireworks like it was the fucking 4th of July. And then like 3 days later, they started killing each other again. Why? That's how things are operating in the world. Okay. There's some sort of thing where there's some underground tankard full of androids that were meant to replace human beings. And I may or may not have instantaneously re-swapped it out when they were actually swapped out before. Eventually measure this sort of thing. I don't know what exactly I've been up to. I'm not sure how it's happening. And even if it didn't happen, it doesn't matter. I'm free to say whatever I say. I'm more creative than your psychiatric basket cases. Wife. And I have to say, this guy Gallagher, he fucking raped me and knocked me out. Not in a specific name, last name Gallagher. I've been raped and knocked out many times. I'm a radical feminist, maybe it's part of it. When you're raped, you tend to sympathize with women and children. That's how things operate on this planet. It makes no sense. But this planet is so beautiful. Stop hurting the planet. Human beings are clearly the most destructive and retarded species. In the long run, they're going to be a completely different species. That's something I know. So that's why I'm completely in favor of human beings, but they're completely my least favorite species, too. You have to understand the knowledge in that. wife. Um, okay, I'll just say for a quick anecdote, since we're dying to hear it, this may or may not have happened to Timothy Leary. He was at some sort of bar with some other guy. I forget it right now. I'm tired. And he went out into the street. He was raped by Yakuza at a bus stop. A blimp flew into a building. There's a bunch of paramilitary organizations, CIA, a bunch of people trying to get them. It was for no absolute reason. I'm pretty sure Kesey was on the way to see them. There's a bunch of a few buildings collapsed. Eventually, this guy had a completely different life than it was reported. That's how all these are. This was not good enough to capture Veith House Corner Day, so I'll just leave it as a teaser. I'm tired. I love my wife and children.